Alright, storyboarding. Let's talk about it and how it's useful. There are a lot of video styles out there, from Instagram vertical video to cinema widescreen. The projects are almost endless, and depending on that project, you're going to plan accordingly. A very common and useful way to plan for a video shoot is what we call storyboarding. Storyboarding is where you visually represent what your scene is going to look like in a series of boxes. These boxes represent the frame of your camera, so each project will be different depending on what kind of frame you're going to be shooting in. For Instagram stories, your boxes are going to look more vertical for the vertical phone view. In cinema, if you're shooting a movie, you're going to be more of a wider box because it's more traditional and that's more standard, a wider field of view. Each box or frame represents one camera angle, and when you put these together, they form a sequence, and this sequence is the overall depiction of that specific story. For presentation purposes, these frames can be put onto a bigger board to show the whole sequence in a nice orderly fashion. Hence the word storyboard. Think of a storyboard as a picture book. Each image represents one camera shot. And when you go to the next image, that's telling you that, hey, we're going from this camera shot to this camera shot. That is how they are going to continue the story. Now, how you storyboard is completely up to you. There's no specific official way on how to do it. Some people draw images with text descriptions. Some people just draw images. Some people draw physically. Some people draw on tablets or computers. Some people might even use pictures instead of drawings. All that really matters is that when your storyboard is done, is that it's understandable and it helps you work more efficiently on the next stage of your production. Now, I didn't quite fully understand the usefulness of storyboarding until I really did it myself. I started it with just personal projects to lay out my ideas, and then it moved to doing it on the Chase short film, which I mentioned previously in earlier vlogs. That was really helpful because it was multiple people and we were able to kind of collaborate and get an idea and get a vision together on the same page of what it would look like. Now, we didn't follow it exactly, but it was a really good outline for us. And lately, I've been using them on client projects. That has been super helpful because I am better prepared when I go to the video shoot, and it actually helps me work more efficiently during the video shoot. Another plus is that it helps greatly with communication. When you have a storyboard and when you work together, everybody is on the same page and is getting a visual representation along with that description. And so people are able to work more efficiently together. Think of it like a construction site. Those people use building plans to stay on the same page and to keep things well and organized. Same thing applies to filmmaking and storyboards. Storyboards are kind of like the visual skeleton of the whole project. So, that's basically storyboarding 101. Those are the basics, but I don't want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with the knowledge of it, but also I want to see how we can incorporate this into an example. Alright, so Lisa and Carlos, let's say they're best friends. They're in middle school, alright? They're sitting at a lunch table, okay? We have our scene, characters, we have our setting. Let's say Carlos wants to trade sandwiches with Lisa. Alright, we're going to make this super simple. She says yes. They trade, and that's it. They eat. Alright, so how can we visually represent this so we know how we can shoot it in storyboards? Okay, we can start with an establishing shot just to show where they are. Alright, so we show a big wide shot that they're in a cafeteria. We show they're sitting across from each other at a lunch table. We have an idea of the whole setting so we know what's going on. Then Carlos asks Lisa, "Are you going to eat that? I would like that sandwich. I can give you mine." So for this dialogue scene, we can cut to a shot looking at Carlos. And that's pretty simple. We examine him delivering the lines. And for response, we do our third storyboard, which cuts to Lisa. And she says, "Sure, here you go." And so she reaches out, and just for kicks, if we want to, we can do a shot of just the hands. This is our fourth storyboard, trading sandwiches. A little emphasis on the trade to make it seem more impactful. Alright? So, now let's keep it super simple and go to like a medium shot where we're not as wide as our establishing shot, but we're not as close as our dialogue shots. So we zoom out a little bit to show that they're both in frame and they're eating their sandwiches with satisfaction on their face. All right, 5 storyboards. That's a total of 5 storyboards. So we started this out with an idea. We didn't know how we were going to shoot it, but then we started to break down each part. We then were like, okay, we can shoot it this way, we can shoot it that way, we can have the shot pointing at him when he's talking, we'd have a shot on the hands giving the sandwiches. So then that's what we would work off of. We would then plan our shoot accordingly of like, okay, what equipment do we need for this shot? What equipment do we need for this shot? What time would we be best to film this shot? That's why a lot of movies are not shot technically in chronological order of how you watch it. Because depending on resources, they might be able to shoot an ending scene more efficiently at the beginning of the process than shoot the beginning of it at the beginning of the process, if that makes sense. So it really depends on efficiency, resources, how you can make it the most smooth process. I actually kind of want to make that scene now. That'd be kind of fun. Be cool. I need to get a Carlos and a Lisa. But another thing too is these storyboards aren't like set in stone, you know. It's just a really good foundation. You can always waver from it a little bit. There's been times where I've been on projects and when we're shooting, an actor might have an idea or another person on the crew, another team member might have an idea, and that idea sounds better than what we had on paper. And it works really good with the overall story. So use that as a guideline and a strong foundation, but don't feel like you have to stick to it strictly. Allow that freedom to kind of continue to grow the story. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I really did. I love teaching you guys about filmmaking. So much fun. And if you didn't know anything about storyboarding, I hope you walk away with something new to where maybe you can go up to a party and be like, hey, yo, party trick, you guys know about storyboards? Let me tell you. And they'll be like, whoa. You're like, yeah, I know, it's pretty sweet, huh? But, I mean, even if you know a lot about storyboarding and you didn't learn anything, I'm glad you watched this video. I hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you in the next one.